Helen worked for me as my PA from 1987 to 1989. She was a beautiful, lively girl.
Before she ever was diagnosed or ever thought she'd get cancer, she always gave to cancer research out of her salary every month.
She was caring and kind and thoughtful and always put everybody else first, even when she was at her poorest.
She was a real joy. She used to come in for her treatments with all her computers, notepads, pencils, organising things all the time.
She was very instrumental in helping with the boards that we had when she was alive, and it was a natural progression to continue them.
She always asked after everyone else rather than herself. She was my best mate.
When Helen passed away, Angela came up with the idea of wanting to start a charity to perpetuate Helen's memory and to raise funds to relieve cancer suffering and to do research.
We've had the war on cancer more or less since 1970, and billions of pounds have been spent on research. But the research has been very conservative and is also tended to concentrate on treatments that are quite toxic. What was really needed are some people who took a more intuitive approach.
See, this is all split, so I think we really need to...
Professor Dalgleish, Gus to his friends, has been a very close friend of mine for over 30 years, and he really has done a tremendous amount in the world of immunology and inflammation about cancer. He's made a major contribution, both in the literature and in terms of patient care.
We've supported Gus because his research is so incredible, and people come to him when there's no hope and they're still living.
Obviously I was devastated because I'd already lost one daughter to cancer, and when Lucy was given her diagnosis with absolutely no hope, no promise of any treatment, we went out on our own and did our own research.
And after having lots of doors closed on me, we finally met up with Professor Dalgleish, and I'd felt very poorly up until this stage, and once I was on the vaccine, within a week and a half I felt so much better. I was doing more without even realising. To receive the news previously, I was given weeks and months. I have a 7-year-old daughter who's my world, and to be able to take her skiing and carry on as I have been thanks to immunotherapy and the vaccine has been the best thing ever, and I have the utmost respect for Professor Dalgleish because he's done so much for me.
How many sections did you cut on this?
I've referred several patients to Gus. Most of them had widespread disease, what we call metastatic cancer, and they were told by other consultants they had very little hope of surviving more than a few weeks or months. David is a great example. He's still alive, very much so, thanks to Gus's intervention.
I vividly remember the Macmillan oncologist stroking my hand and telling me that I'd slip away over the next couple of days and I wouldn't feel a thing. I was in a very poor state and my prostate cancer was winning. But I knew that wasn't the way I wanted to go, so I insisted that all the diamorphine was removed. And it was at that point I discovered Gus. And today I'm cancer-free, and I can only say that without Gus, I wouldn't be here.
So this is, the fact that a prostate cancer vaccine's been approved in America now, it's very expensive and it's not available over here, has led to people wondering whether the basic vaccine that we were using would be useful for prostate. Well, historically we know that it was in an earlier study, and patients who have had it have had dramatic responses, particularly when they've been on certain other treatments, and that's why we'd love to do these trials to try and capture this. And you know, for one thing, we know unlike most of the other new treatments, it's not remotely toxic.
We've known for many years that the immune system can recognise cancer cells and actually destroy them under certain circumstances. What Gus is trying to do is work out the mechanisms behind this, so it'll work not just for melanoma, but also for other common cancers such as prostate, lung, breast, and so on.
One of the drugs, together with the vaccine, LDN, is going to cost pennies rather than thousands of pounds. So The National Health Service will be able to afford it for everyone. There's going to be no postcode lotteries.
When I first became interested in the vaccine and wanted to do research on vaccines, it was incredible. Nobody was remotely interested. They all felt it had been tried and failed before. So if it wasn't for the generous donations and patients and the support of the CBI, we'd never have got carried on to where we are now.
So I've been very fortunate to have come in contact with Professor Dalgleish and the Cancer Vaccine Institute. At this point, I've been clean ostensibly for 9 years. The treatment that I've had available to me has managed to keep me alive. I'm able to live a normal life. I work full time. I exercise regularly. Do a lot of sports.
The core work has to be funded privately. They don't get funding for this, and this is the basis. That there'll never be a cure without doing this core work, which Gus is doing.
Gus's research is very much part of the future of cancer treatment. Vaccines will be used in the future just like drugs and radiation are today. The results will be fantastic, and only by funding research today can we actually get the benefits for future cancer patients.